Hey everybody, Captain Foley with you. Today I got a few words to talk about regarding Trekyards, the series that me and Samuel Calkins are in the middle of producing. I just kind of want to give you guys some information on that and let you know what exactly you guys can expect. There's a lot of information out there about starships, which is both canon and non-canon. Now, our Trekyards show is going to be about ships of the line, online basically. We're going to talk about classic ships, ships from all the series of Star Trek, even one-off ships, ships you only see once, things like that, alien ships, Federation ships, all kinds of ships. So we have a ton of information and resources available to us to do that, and I just want to kind of go through some of that with you real quick, just so you know where we're getting our information from. As you can see here, I have a ton of books that I use for reference material. I don't just use online information. Seeing as how all you people have access to the online information. You'll have access to Memory Alpha, to Wikipedia, all that kind of jazz. Now, a lot of this information that we have, that we're bringing together, is old school and new school. A lot of non-canon, a lot of early stuff released like in the 70s and early 80s before there was official canon for a lot of ships. We've also got Samuel brings to the table, he brings his knowledge of Star Trek ships, as well as he has the Star Trek collection where you get the little ship every month and the magazine that tells you about it. That's all based on new information, new series like Enterprise, basically official canon, but a lot of this older stuff that I'm going to kind of just give you a quick glance at right now is either hard to find knowledge or unknown stuff that you might have a hard time finding or whatever. So we want to bring it all together for you guys and teach you about starships. Now, I know you've been eagerly waiting the first episode. We run into one or two production snags, but we are developing right now 4 episodes. So we're going to have a few out to you very shortly. I'm hoping late next week. Today is Sunday, so I'm hoping by the end of this upcoming week we might have 1 episode out at least. The test episode we did looks amazing. I am so excited for you guys to see this. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool information coming your way, and you are going to really appreciate the format and layout. I'd also like to thank everybody, and so would Samuel, for subscribing to the Facebook Trekyards fan page. There's a lot of good debate and discussion going on there. Once again, it all comes down to canon and non-canon. A lot of interesting facts both ways, and we want to bring you all those facts and put it all together in one entertaining show. You guys can get all the facts and kind of make up your own mind as to what is going on. So one of the first books I use for some of my information is the Star Trek Starship Spotter, which is a very good book. It's got a bunch of iconic ships, gives you CGI renderings, wireframe models, and cold hard facts, histories of the ships, many different ships in here. As you can see, these are all ships that we'll likely be doing. Once again, we want your input. We want to know what ships you want to see. There's so many in the Star Trek universe that this series is going to be amazing for you guys. The next book we have, and this is one of my personal favorites. I've grown up over the years playing Starfleet Battles with my brother. We're both huge Star Trek fans. So we have all the Starfleet Battles books. Have a bunch of the additions to this as well. There's Starfleet Battles Volume 2, Volume 3, and then like the X ships and a few other things, additions to the set. So my brother has all that information. I have the basic Starfleet Battles manual, which gives you non-canonical, again, histories for a lot of the ships. Some you never actually see on screen, but a lot that you do. And so, and it's fun because this really emphasizes ships. It talks about the weapon systems they have, how they're used, things like that. So very interesting, but then again, it's all non-canon. So we got to keep that in mind, and we will let you guys make you aware of what's non-canon and what isn't, so you guys can make up your own mind. So there's that one, and we'll get to the next one. So this is created by Strategic Design. This is a 25th Anniversary Collector's Edition for Star Trek The Undiscovered Country, called Starfleet Dynamics. This also has a wealth of knowledge, much of which is based on the movies, but is very non-canonical. It doesn't necessarily reflect canon, but it's very detailed on how things work, how weapon systems work, how engines work, how sensors work. I've got sensor information there. So once again, we can get right into the heart of how a starship works, why things do what they do, things like that. Next on the list is Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise. Some of these books are very popular and a lot of you will have them. So this goes through and talks about the refits, shows some production drawings there, which were design drawings for the impulse engines. This again tells you how the systems work, how the ship operates. Very interesting stuff. This is considered canon, this book, so you don't have much to worry about in that regard. So there's that one. So next on the information cavalcade is one that a lot of you will have, and it's very near and dear to a lot of Star Trek fans' hearts. It's the Starfleet Technical Manual. This is the 20th Anniversary Edition one. I was fortunate enough to have mine signed by James Doohan. As we all know, Scotty from the original series. So Scotty actually signed my technical manual, which is very super cool. We also have Walter Koenig's signature there and William Shatner. So this one, of course, same thing. This one is canon. Articles of the Federation to start with, and it goes through how everything works. Starships, tugs, dreadnoughts. I don't know why I'm showing you guys this. Most of you will probably have this in your collections, so you know what I'm talking about. We get information from here as well, star charts, how tricorders work, things like that. So a lot of information there as well, technical and otherwise. We also have the Star Trek star charts. This was released after Enterprise, and Enterprise did kind of mess with the official timeline as well, canon-wise, but, you know, forgive and forget. Like it or lump it, Enterprise is considered canon, so a lot of the information in here is kind of but once again, it's all considered canon because it's officially released by Paramount Studios or CBS, whichever one has the rights to Star Trek. Now, I believe it's CBS for the official Star Trek. So we got that. That actually came in handy in an upcoming episode. We had to do a little bit of looking up regarding Foley in space, and while we were having our discussion for our episode, and this came in very handy for that. So there is that. Of course, this one too, this Next Generation Technical Manual, much the same as the original series manual. Tells you how holodecks work, other information, warp fields, how deflector grids work, blah blah blah. Gives you a lot of support craft information, things like that. A lot of technical charts and trees, so you can see what's connected to what, and very helpful in our discussions. And of course, moving right along with the technical manual theme, we have the Star Trek Deep Space Nine technical manual, which I'm not going to talk much about while I go through it. Same deal. How things work, why they work. And the thing I got to point out too is a lot of the non-canonical information we have is regarding to original series ships or movie era ships. Once you get to the Next Generation, it's pretty much all set up as canon until Enterprise comes along, kind of alters a few things. But so the non-canonical information is mainly going to apply to original series ships as well as movie era. So just keep that in mind. Also have Star Trek Chronology, the History of the Future. This is very similar in design to the Star Trek Encyclopedia. Gives you a timeline of what and when and where and how things work, timeline wise. So we have ship progressions through here, things like that, things of that nature. And as I stated earlier in this, a lot of the books are older reference material. This is the Star Trek Concordance, which was hard to get. I got a pretty good quality copy off of eBay. But this just has all the original series information regarding episodes and ships, etc. So we have that. The next one is, haven't used it yet, probably likely never will, but you never know. There might be one or two interesting little facts in it that we could use. Star Trek role-playing game. Same type of deal. It does talk about how ships work in here, though. This is very non-canonical, so got to be kind of iffy about what we pick out of here, but very interesting nonetheless. And over the years, I'm going to Star Trek conventions, etc. I picked up a lot of things. Blueprints. This is for the Avenger class. This was what the Miranda class was called before it was called the Miranda class. Initially non-canonical, it was called the Avenger class. Then when they started working on the Next Generation, the arts department started referring to it as the Miranda class, which of course it eventually became canon-wise. So things like that. We have the original Constitution class blueprints. This is non-canon as well. Heavy Cruiser Evolution blueprints. Talks about the design elements of ships of the same class, a little bit like variants of the Constitution class. Some scout ships, tugs, things like that are in there. Also have the 25th anniversary 1701A deck plans, blueprints for that, and Next Generation Enterprise D blueprints. Blueprints everywhere. Here we have Starship Design, Interstellar Forum for Naval Power. This one is pretty cool. This is, of course, from the future. It's March 2280. Here we have ads for sensor systems. This I've posted a bunch of pictures on the Trekyards already from this. Just goes into detail about various ship designs, variants, prototype engine struts, Klingon designs, things of that nature. This too has the some non-canon information, where that being the Avenger class instead of the Miranda class, which we just discussed there. So recognition charts for heavy cruisers and dreadnoughts, etc. Very interesting publication. This I enjoyed going through. I got this years ago at a Star Trek convention in Toronto. It's kind of just like made out to be like an actual magazine of the future. 4 free issues. All newly commissioned officers in Starfleet are eligible for 4 free issues of Starship Design. So really cool stuff. Once again, on the back there's an ad for sensor systems. So that's invaluable as far as technical information, is how the engines work, etc. So very cool stuff. This, of course, is all online right now. The Star Trek Encyclopedia, updated and expanded edition. This is from before Enterprise. So this is before the timeline kind of got screwed with. So you have the evolution of the Enterprise through from the cutter all the way up to the aircraft carrier, straight to the Constitution. No NX-01 in here. Lots of interesting facts in there as well regarding ships. Use at your own discretion, basically, but this is not available anymore. You can't buy it, so it's good to have that in the arsenal. And one of my favorite reference guides, which was also hard to find, but I found a great quality copy, the Star Trek Starfleet Chronology. This is the original one. There was a revised one done in the late 80s that modified a few things in here that didn't jive with the official canon or timeline. But this is the original how spaceflight came to be. right down to the whole the Bonaventure being the first warp-powered spacecraft. It was a Cochrane class ship designed by Zephram Cochrane, who at the time was living on Alpha Centauri. That's a whole story in and of itself, which you might be hearing very soon, depending on what ships we do as part of our series Trekyards. But yes, originally Zephram Cochrane was living on Alpha Centauri as he went there with on a colony ship, and took about, after he was there for 10 years, developed warp drive, and they came out with the Bonaventure and the Cochrane class ships. And that's a whole other can of worms as far as people that studied these went. People my age or older, a lot of them know these. To them, a lot of this is gospel. But then the official canon came along and kind of messed things up. But we can live with that. So, as you can see, guys, a wealth of knowledge at our disposal to pick and choose information from, and of course the internet. So look forward to lots of exciting stuff from us coming down the pipe as far as Trekyards goes. I'm sorry for this taking so long, guys. I didn't think the procedure would take this long. But like I said, we're getting things worked out, and the first test episode looks amazing. We're going to release it probably about 10 episodes in, kind of as a bonus episode, just to kind of show you how we've progressed since our first test episode. So anyway, guys, please stay tuned, and we will post any information regarding Trekyards on our Facebook page. Also check out www.trekyards.com. That's our official web page. We'll be posting all our new episodes there, etc., so you guys can keep in touch. Or please like and subscribe to this channel, as I will be uploading all the videos regarding the Trekyards to my personal channel right here as well. So thank you for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you sitting through this and kind of listening to me babble. Like I said, I got a lot of information in my head because we've been working really hard to get these episodes out for you. And after today, me working for a few hours on a particular episode, I thought I'd share this information with you and just kind of discuss how we get our facts. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys are excited about the Trekyards. I know I certainly am. And I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. All right, me and Samuel wish you all a good day and have a great one. Bye-bye.